What detergent should you use to get your wool the whitest? That's what we're going to talk about today. I did a little experiment with 2 different detergents, so I'll show you the results. Welcome to Wool Maven. It's Kathy. I'm glad you're here. And I did a little experiment with some wools, 3 different wools and a mohair, to see which one turns out the best, because we all want the wool to wash up, or the fiber, I'll just keep saying wool. We all want the wool to wash up to be clean and a bright white, or at least the whitest and the cleanest that fleece can naturally look. So you hear all these suggestions about which shampoo or which detergent are you supposed to use. Do you need a special wool wash? Some people are using dish detergent. Some people, I've used baby shampoo. I've used all kinds of different things. So what's the best, or at least is there even a difference? Or is it more of a, hey, whatever works for you? The subject for today is I washed 4 different fibers, and I got them all at the Fiber Festival that was in town in Mansfield the end of October. It was super fun. Anyway, so these were raw fibers. I've got Tunis, mohair, Leicester longwool, and Romney. So let me show you what I've got. And then, before we go there, this experiment, like I said, I have washed with baby shampoo before. It works pretty good. But for this experiment, I went Orvis, which is a livestock paste soap. It's kind of like a pearly white liquid. I got it at TSC. That's just the store that carries it around me, but anywhere that would carry livestock supplies. It's a tub, a good sized tub, and it had 7.5 pounds, and it was $40. And then the other one that I used was just Dawn dish detergent. So just your normal blue dish detergent is kind of been my default. That, or occasionally I use Unicorn's Power Scour. I really, really like that. That's always wonderful, but it can get a little bit pricey. And then sometimes I use baby shampoo too. It just depends on what I'm doing. But for this particular experiment, it was Dawn dish detergent versus Orvis. And then let me tell you what I did. I pulled out the fleeces and divided them up into 2 kind of sort of equal batches. Not quite equal, but into 2 sections, relatively equal. And then the process is I soak it in lukewarm water for at least a half hour up to an hour, and then proceed with the actual washing or the scouring. And the reason why I did the soak first, which if you've been watching my channel, you'll see I have some shorts out on the differences in the wools and mohair, of course, that with the soaked fiber, and you'll notice some of them, it made a world of difference. So especially the Tunis, that made a ton of difference. It got a scads whiter just with getting rid of the dirt. And that's my point, is that when you soak, all you're doing is getting rid of anything that comes out in just plain water. It's just lukewarm water. Like I said, a half hour to an hour, depending on when I got back to it. And the reason I do that is because I feel it gives your detergent, when you actually start washing, less work to do. If you've already removed the things that just plain water can get out, then anything that's left in the wool is things that you actually need detergent for. So the detergent, at least in my mind, has less work to do. You'll get the lanolin specifically removed, which I realize mohair doesn't have lanolin, so that's another subject. So the detergent is actually working. If you soak your wool first, the detergent is actually doing things that you need detergent for. You're not also trying to work through all the dirt that's coming out as well, because I got that out earlier. And anyway, so what I did was to see if doing a wash in Dawn or a wash in Orvis made the difference. So I've got it set up. Let me show you the results. And I'll start grabbing them. And to keep things simple, we'll do the Dawn sample first and then the Orvis sample. So I'm going with Tunis first. And all I did was pick out any vegetable matter and just chuck it in there. So you can still see there's a few dirty tips. That's okay. I didn't do anything. This was just to see how white it would get. So that's with Dawn. And it was 2 washings. I guess I should say that for everything here. It was 2 washes and then just enough rinses to get it to rinse clear. So that's Dawn. And then this is Orvis. So Dawn, Orvis, and here they are together. And tell you the truth, I don't see a ton of difference there. Then next up is the Leicester Longwool. This is what Dawn did. Then this is Orvis. So here's Dawn, here's Orvis. And once again, I don't see a ton of difference with these either. Both of them, I still got a little bit of brown on the tips, and both of them still got really, really shined up, and I'm showcasing the high luster here. So I think they're both did pretty good here. On to the Romney. This is the Dawn. And then this is the Orvis. So Dawn, Orvis. And I don't see a ton of difference here. I do want to say the only thing I did different with Romney that I didn't do with the other ones was, since I knew Romney would felt, Romney was washed in the lingerie bag for both of these experiments, whereas the other ones were done kind of loose in a wash vat and just treated nicely so things didn't get too crazy in there. But this one was kept together in a mesh bag. That way I was hoping to minimize felting, and it appeared to work. Anyway, so I don't see a ton of difference on this one either. And then the last one is this mohair, and this is the Dawn. This is kind of and this is the Orvis. It's hard to show, it's kind of a squirrely guy. And to tell you the truth, I don't see a ton of difference with these either. So if nothing else, that's pretty interesting information. So to sum it all up, what did I see the difference between Dawn and Orvis? Not a ton. Not a ton at all, actually. They both appeared to be just about as easy to work with as far as like using the detergent and how much they cleaned and how good of a job they did. So from what I can tell, I don't think they're pretty much the same. The only thing I will tell you is occasionally, at least in my experience, and to be fair, we're using hard water here, so I don't know if that had anything to do with it or not, but I did once, and it was just once I was washing some, I think it was Finn, and which should have come out just really, really white, and it ended up coming out kind of a dingy sock color. So I could have done something. I don't know offhand what it would have been, but that's the one time I've had Dawn kind of not do what I was hoping for, but otherwise it seems to go pretty good. But then the only caution I do have on Dawn is if you really put a lot of Dawn in the water and then do multiple washes, in my experience, I can get it a little bit, it's almost too clean, and it goes from clean to like crunchy and parched, and I don't like that. So I don't know if it's just Dawn is so powerful or I just got too crazy with it. But either way, with the Orvis, it seemed to keep it. I seem to keep the niceness. So I'm not sure if that's because Dawn, let's be honest, it's made for dishes, not fabric and fiber, or it's because Orvis is made for animal fiber, and that's what we're working with here. So anyway, I felt they kind of turned out the same. So that's what I've got for today. I do want to mention I have a super big announcement coming out later this month. It's going to be really exciting. So around Black Friday, keep your eyes open. I've got some cool stuff coming for you. So glad you made it. Thanks for taking the time to watch, and have a super day.